by doing so, they would push too hard for it, take too much control, end up stifling creativity. But another reason is that the idea of creativity itself continues to be quite illegitimate in our world. And that doesn't mean it's a value, because it's a value we like creativity, right? We like the idea of creativity. But as a practice, many examples of creativity tend to be quite illegitimate. And there are some studies, including one I recently completed, where people like me went and asked, how did this great product, this great innovation came to be? And usually people will tell you, we have this innovation supporting process, and we have good people, but if you really just stay with the master, they will say, we had to break so many rules in the process to make sure that these things happen. And most such examples of breaking rules, I found in companies like 3M, like Hewlett-Packard, like Hollywood, which are the ones that we think of as creativity friendly. And I think they're really creativity friendly. But even in those companies, sometimes people have to take devious ways to make sure that the new idea arrives to the point of full implementation, of becoming a practical, actual innovation. There is this balance about creativity. And if you go in a bookstore, you will see all these titles: creativity, innovation, jumping the wave, leading the curve, mavericks, cowboys, and so forth and so on. But in practice, it's still a thing that is very, very difficult to nurture in practice. Now, to illustrate that, by the way, if you don't mind me asking, how many of you, in the past, in order to pursue a creative idea, you had to go through devious ways in your jobs? Would you like to give us an example?
Yeah.
If you feel comfortable saying, you get a lot of talk about creativity, but two, especially radical ideas, are much less likely to come. And know that because here at London Business School, every year I supervise projects about innovation and creativity. And about 90% of the times, I tell you what I get. I get something like 150 pages report that starts and says the problem. Chapter 1, the company was losing out in competition. So management thought we need to innovate. Chapter 2, the solution. We went out to retreat for the weekend to plan our innovation strategy. Chapter 3, the innovation officer. We invented all about the innovation officer, and so forth and so on. And sometimes what people forget to write, and include this report, is where exactly is creativity? Where exactly in your company you're giving an example of something which is creative, which is innovative, and sometimes that part is missing. And part of the reason why it's missing because it's not very, very easy to fit it in. So part of the trick, I think, is to make structure much more playful. And playfulness, going back to the model of the children, is a great way to help people as a leader become more creative. And by the way, it's also that sometimes people would not like to do that, unless somehow as a leader you encourage them and you protect them and you tell them it's okay to play with some ideas that may not be directly linked to what you do. And how many of you play outside of work? What forms? How do you play? What do you do?
Football with the dogs.
Football with dogs?
Go with the kids.
So with the kids? What do you do?
Kids.
How many of you play while you work, at work?
Juggle.
Sorry?
I juggle.
Juggle.
I sit in the innovation group of Reuters, so they'll probably picked up some of the lessons. So it's encouraged to do a lot of playing around.
A lot of playing around. Any other examples of playing around at work?
Because they involve in the play.
Good, very good. And I come back to the part you mentioned about institutionalizing, because at the very beginning, because I think it's important. And all of this talks about how you can create a playful environment.
Yes.
Right? So how you create an ambiance which is playful, and that can help people, can change the energy. One of the things which is surprising, as human beings, we tend not to be aware how much the environment around us influences our thinking,
Yes.
and how much our emotions influence our thinking. We tend not to be aware of that. I know in extreme situations when you're very elated or very sad. Usually we don't. So part of the trick, I think, with creating a playful environment is that you create an ambiance that somehow stimulates creative ideas and the emotions as well. Another part which I think is important, you help people relate much more personally. So what happens is you tend to have this, you may forget a little bit the formal hierarchical relationships that you have, relate much more on a personal level. It usually encourages people to share ideas, challenge ideas, with with others. Tends to be very, very useful. Another great thing that playful processing can do is that they can give you a much larger network of people in your industry, outside from the organization as well, from whom you can really get good ideas, good inputs to the creative process. So you see people playing golf together, colleagues, who tend to think of this as something, okay, just go have fun, perhaps you're doing something else. The reality is that quite often we know that people who have much more diverse networks of colleagues and friends, they tend to have more creative ideas as well. And the reason is because they listen more things, they hear more diverse things. Not each and every one of these things is good, but the more you hear, the more little balls you put in the process, the more likely you are to figure out a good idea yourself. But that's one big part of the process, which is how you create a playful environment. Another part which is important is how you turn your work into play. Not how you stop work as a designer, you stop designing to go out and play, how you really turn the work that you do into playfulness. And that's very, very important as well. And so many creative products actually I think do come from people who have very, very playful moments while they're working. And what I mean by that is that you take all these elements of play, like doing something that doesn't seem to make sense, it's very flexible, it's very fluid, it's very fun, and you turn it up to be your work. Let me give you an example. Think that you're working in a car manufacturer that produces sports cars, very fast sports cars. Playfulness could be one example of playful work. To say, what I would like to design SUV, right? And the organization doesn't produce SUVs, but you can consider it. You consider it as an idea. I would like to do this project just to feel how it feels like, and quite often your organization may find later that producing an SUV might be a useful idea.